Jackson Podcast.
Se acostó temprano, mañana hay que estudiar. Pero llamó a la amiga diciendo pa' janguear.
Well, there it is. It's official. Puerto Rico's finest, Bad Bunny, will be the Apple Music Super Bowl 60 halftime show in February on NBC and Peacock. Bad Bunny, he's a 3-time Grammy winner and the most streamed artist in the world.
You know what's interesting about all of this? Like, me and my partner, we covered Kendrick Lamar getting his performance last year and how hostile people was when Lil Wayne didn't get the performance, and it was in New Orleans. Nobody in hip hop is talking about E40 or the Bay Area, none of that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's in the Bay. It's in the Bay now. The Bay got too short. They got this, they got that. You know. Bad Bunny though, I don't have no problem with it. At the end of the day, me personally, I don't have no problem with it. If I look at the numbers, if I look at the statistics, the analytics, he's the second biggest artist in the world. You know, even though JayZ is the face of it and everything, and we think JayZ should look out or it should be a Chris Brown performance. You know, Chris Brown might be the greatest performer of all time that never got a shot to perform. Behind Taylor Swift, it's Bad Bunny when it comes to statistics and analytics. But I got a few things that I want to say about, you know, current football, just in general. Like, I'm 45 years old. I'm gonna say my age because, you know, people that is my age watch my channel. Majority of the people that watch my channel, the analytics will tell me that it's from 35 to 50 years old. So, you know, is current football even anything of y'all interest? With the way that the economy is, do y'all got time to sit down and really enjoy this shit? Like the game. Anyway, do the NFL think they too big for their britches? Because to me, to be honest, the way that they running the business, it seems as if they don't care about the people who prioritize their business. When I look at the Kaepernick situation just a few years ago, even though Kaepernick was trashed them last few years ago, and I'm a 49ers fan, and this Super Bowl is in San Francisco. I've been watching the Niners win championships and supporting the 49ers since 85 when we beat the Dolphins. I can remember like it was yesterday. I was laying on my granny floor watching the Super Bowl on that black and white TV. That little bitty TV that weighed down there 200 pounds because it was big as hell. You know, when Kaepernick was kneeling and black folks was complaining and we was boycotting the NFL and it didn't stop nothing. Now I see white folks complaining. They hostile about this situation. You know, they think that the NFL is a masculine sport, and is the NFL getting too big for their britches? You know, you got white folks complaining. Now they was complaining about Kendrick Lamar. Now they complaining about Bad Bunny performing. Wow.
It's about saving America. You'll boycott the entire Super Bowl, not just the halftime show. Football is the most masculine sport in our country, now being used to feminize a nation of young boys by bringing in Bad Bunny for the halftime show. This guy is a notorious drag performer who embraces transgenderism and promotes it in his shows, even appearing with busty prosthetic breasts. It's time to stop talking about how bad we hate this trend in America and show the NFL that we will not put up with their corruption of our society any longer. Boycott the Super Bowl. If you're serious about...
You know, I ain't telling y'all what to do. That ain't who I am. I'm just here to present the conversation to y'all. The game's rigged. You're a fan of the team. You're a fanatic. You lame as hell. You know, draft, it's all about money. We live in a capitalist society. They don't care who you want to perform. We're going to go with the biggest who's making the most money. We don't care what team you support that you want to win. As long as you're a fan and you buy your wings and your jerseys and your hats every day, we don't care. We just want the money. As long as you putting that $50 on that bet so you can try to win 500 or you might lose your $50 every Sunday. We don't care as long as you want the money. We get the money. That's all it's about. As long as we get the money, nothing else matters, man. It's a capitalist society. They don't care about the people. You know, it's a lot of people that don't care about the society being a capitalist society until it affects them. That's just my perspective of it. Real talk. Now, I'm going to get into this article. I think that the Rolling Stone did a phenomenal job with this piece. Bad Bunny's Super Bowl performance is historic and controversial, and here's why. You know, Puerto Rico, right? I see a lot of brothers moving to Puerto Rico. It's tax benefits. It's a U.S. territory, so you got the military to protect it. And a lot of folks that get money, they like tax benefits because we get money. Why not? It's a beautiful island also. You know, you can live in a space away from the riffraff and the foolishness in Puerto Rico. Do we view them as our own, though? The Puerto Rican people? That's just what I want to say before I get into reading this article. So this is by Vanessa Diaz. It was released September the 30th, 2025. So Bad Bunny announced his Super Bowl halftime performance in a fully Puerto Rican way, wearing a pava hat, canclas, and a Hector Love inspired suit, while sitting atop of a football goalpost at a sunset on a beach in Puerto Rico. Let me stop. I think the NFL is trying to go global. They yearly play a game over there in the UK. They are implementing Bad Bunny so they can introduce football to the Latinos and the Hispanic individuals in Puerto Rico and Mexico and everything else. That's what I think. I think they're trying to make the game global, and this is a way to implement that. The announcement came just after a week of Bad Bunny ending his historic 31-day residency at El Calazo de Puerto Rico with a record-breaking live stream of the final show via Amazon Music. It was the most watched single artist performance in the history of the platform, so it overtook Kendrick Lamar's performance on Amazon Music because Kendrick Lamar had the most watched Amazon Music performance before this. So what do y'all think that means for the Super Bowl? We're going to get into JayZ and why I think that he is vouching for this here in a minute, because, you know, if he is breaking Kendrick Lamar's numbers on Amazon Music, what you think he's going to do to his Super Bowl performance, and what does that mean for JayZ's job? Now, Bad Bunny is preparing to achieve yet another major cultural milestone as the first Super Bowl halftime artist to perform solely in Spanish. But this historically significant moment comes with political implications that have led to deeply divided viewpoints. Let me play a clip. Right quick.
Dancing and banging on the table in my house when I saw you at the Super Bowl with Shakira, and I go, oh my gosh, look at this guy, yeah! Look at this guy, I mean, whoa!
That's amazing.
Were you nervous?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. It's the biggest stage in the world, and it's the same that here. I never imagined before that I was going to the Super Bowl halftime. You know, I don't know anything about football. I don't know who won the game, you know? So, you know.
Wow.
But I'm so happy. I'm so proud. That night was an amazing night that I never going to forget.
You crushed it.
Yeah.
I was a motherfucking JT.
You know, with all the artists in America, you know, he's done the Super Bowl before. When Dr. Dre got his opportunity to represent LA, and he brought out Murray J, Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent, Eminem, Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar had the opportunity to do the Super Bowl before. This man don't even know American culture. and he's getting the opportunity over 300 creative Americans. I say that because I want to know y'all perspective in the comment section. Who would y'all like to see? Because we know the numbers is Taylor Swift, is Bad Bunny, is Drake, is Kendrick Lamar as the biggest artist in the world, Adele, people like that. Who would y'all want to see? Me specifically, I would want to see Chris Brown. I ain't gonna lie to you. I would want to see Chris Brown perform over any of these individuals. Other artists I would like to see perform, you know, this big time that could handle it would be Nas. I think Nas could do it. I think JayZ could do it, even though he's at the stage where he perceives himself as the big boss man. I would rather see him do it than Bad Bunny, but this is what we get. And let me continue to read the article. Now, Bad Bunny is preparing to achieve yet another major cultural milestone as the first Super Bowl halftime artist to perform solely in Spanish. But this historically significant moment comes with political implications that have led to deeply divided viewpoints. Latin music is the fastest growing genre in the U.S. with revenues of 1.4 billion, and Bad Bunny is Latin's biggest star. But at the same time, Latinos and the Spanish language are being targeted as migrants, are violently kidnapped on street corners, and disappeared by the Trump administration. Hold up. Let me say something, because this article can, mislead people. I'm going to read it again. Latinos and the Spanish language are being targeted as migrants, are violently kidnapped on street corners, and disappeared by the Trump administration. You know, I got my things I want to spew about Trump this weekend when I collaborate with my dog, Water God. But what I'm saying about this article specifically is that, you know, if you're illegal, you're illegal. We can't just let people illegally just run rapid in the streets. They ain't being targeted. They are allowing themselves to be targeted by being illegal. Bad Bunny himself said he skipped touring across the U.S. because of the potential ICE presence at his concerts, as ICE raids in the major mainland American cities have been much more prevalent than in Puerto Rico. Still, this has led to some questions why he is choosing to do a performance in the U.S. now. His status as a Spanish-speaking Latino, his statement about ICE, and his long-standing opposition to President Donald Trump have also made him a natural target for conservative backlash. Conservative political commentator Benny Johnson called him a massive Trump hater and an anti-activist with no songs in English. Other commentators online suggest that he should be detained or deported ahead of the show. While negative responses to the halftime announcement echoes centuries-long sentiments of Latinos as perpetual foreigners, it also reflects that fact that most Americans still do not know that Puerto Rico, where Bad Bunny was born and raised and still lives, is a U.S. territory. And Puerto Ricans have U.S. citizenship. So every single one of his 31 residencies took place in the U.S. by forcing residents of the 50 states to come to him. His residency decentered what the U.S. mainland means by making Puerto Rico itself the mainland for the shows. I'm going to continue to read this, but, you know, I want to play some of the clips that I got queued up for y'all or whatever of the people that is disgruntled about this.
However, the definition of stupid, if you have a business, is to do things to make the majority of your business hate your business. But the NFL has done a great job over the decades of making themselves into a brand that they feel like is too big and they can do whatever the hell they want to do. What am I talking about? D'Angelo, so they've for the halftime show. Now, understand, JayZ is over the music and over the halftime show and stuff like that, right? I knew when they started featuring gangster rap music like I knew that was a sign of the whole collapse of the United States culturally. And so when they did that, I was like, oh, this is gonna be a problem. But now they've taken the degenerate nature of black culture, and now they've multiplied that into a non-English singing or rapping artist who is a cross-dresser who I don't believe loves America or the opportunity that it provides for him or provided for him. And so it shows the majority of the supporters in the nation that basically, fuck you. We don't care what you do or what you think about it.
You know, the NFL been saying fuck you for a long time. It did it with Kaepernick. It has done it with the way that they have changed the way the gameplay is played. They don't care about y'all, and y'all continuously watch it. Y'all addicted to it. Y'all fanatics about it. And at the end of the day, that makes you lame as hell. The sport has changed. It is altered. It's the lowest paying professional sport in the United States of America. I prefer baseball. I prefer basketball. I prefer golf over the NFL, actually. And I'm not trying to speak bad upon the NFL. It's just the way it is. Shit lame as hell. You know, I live in the southeastern part of the country. When I think about sports over here, the NFL, the Titans, the Panthers, the Commanders, the Falcons, the Jaguars, the Dolphins, trash. I don't care if you're a fan of them, man, they trash. The NFL, y'all ain't too big for me. I ain't got to support y'all. I ain't get ready to get Amazon Prime so I can watch y'all on Thursday. I don't care if y'all get teams in Puerto Rico, in the UK, in Australia, in Russia. I don't give a damn. The play got to be good for me to support it. Just like the NBA, that shit decreasing too. It's all about offense, and it's not about strategy and implementing strategic ways to win ball games. It's not really competitive. It's betting. I think about all forms of creativity in America right now, and we have conformed to doing what is going to make us money instead of being actually creative. Because when I look at movies, when you think about movies, right? As of recently, I went to see the Superman, the Jurassic Park. I need to go to the movies again because I ain't been since then. That sounded like a month or two ago. But the storylines is trash. The writing is trash. That's what the action was built around, the writing. But now you got all action, no writing. So the artistic form is removed, and now you're just implementing graphics and AI and shit. A real creator and a real artist will notice that and will not be into it. When I think about rap now, hip hop, music in general, the storylines, the experiences, the artistic ways of writing is removed. And you just giving me whoever's the most popular is giving me on the radio. I'm not the type of person to be able to be programmed. So the NFL is bullshitting. One thing that brother said is though that I don't really appreciate is that he said that they were the NFL was promoting the degenerate part of black culture. You know, the promotion of gangs, that's interesting because Snoop Dogg crip walking was a low point for the NFL. To me, that was a low point because it's promoting gang culture. But when I think about the division that's created in the United States in general from politics, Democrat and Republicans, that's why I can't pick a side. I just can't because I'm into us unifying. I'm not into us being divided. But back to the Super Bowl and Snoop Dogg's performance with that all blue bandana outfit on. That was a low point. A 50-year-old man up there crip walking. That was a low point. That is the degenerate side of the culture. If you're a gangbanger, I'm sorry. Fuck you. You are for the destruction and the divide of our people. Now, Bad Bunny being a non-English cross-dresser, them promoting the LGBTQ movement. I can't accept it. If you can't accept me as a human being, then I just can't accept that. Because the people that look like me and come from where I come from, they prioritize being that before they prioritize being themselves. Because they need something to attach themselves to feel valuable. And that's lame as hell. Let's get into the Rolling Stone article. Similarly, Bad Bunny as the Super Bowl halftime performer is an opportunity to decenter a white English-speaking mainstream and grapple with the fact that Latin music in Spanish is mainstream. That Bad Bunny has become mainstream is irrefutable, given he was the most streamed artist on Spotify for 3 years. From 2020 to 2022, has the most streamed albums in the history of Spotify, and saw multiple tracks from his latest release reach #1 this year on Billboard Hot 100, Apple Music, and Spotify. Was lauded by many as the most Puerto Rican album and his most political album, neither of which negatively impact its popularity. In this way, Bad Bunny's popularity has not cheapened his message. It has strengthened it. So as he appears to take the Super Bowl stage, some wonder if he will be able to maintain a political message, which includes calls for Puerto Rican independence, trans rights, and to end U.S. imperialism. Well, remove yourself from the United States then. Be by yourself. Let the U.S. take all their money away. And y'all build that shit up by yourself. Real talk. You want independence. You want trans rights. And an end to U.S. imperialism. It is right to question what will be possible in the context of this tightly controlled space that has historical silenced protest. However, this year, Kendrick Lamar's halftime show included pointed political statements through the use of his prison yard inspired stage design, the formation of a living American flag that split in half, and a cameo by Samuel L. Jackson as Uncle Sam. In 2020, when Bad Bunny performed at the Super Bowl halftime show with Jennifer Lopez and Shakira, the headlines fought to keep a political statement in the performance by showing young children in cages, which represented the inhumane immigration policy of the first Trump's presidency. Giving Bad Bunny the space to spotlight his culture and political is a bold move for Apple Music, Rock Nation, and the NFL. In light of the anti-Latino sentiment ravaging the country, but it is a choice that makes sense. The Super Bowl halftime show is about money and viewership. Let me say that again because a lot of people don't know that. It's about money and viewership. You take your viewership away, you remove the money. The halftime show is about money and viewership. You take your viewership away, you remove the money. Bad Bunny has already brought in the cash and will most certainly bring in the viewers. Even if they aren't all white and English speaking, there's a reason companies like Adidas, Pepsi, and Ritz Crackers have chosen to partner with Bad Bunny. These brands are mainstream, just like Bad Bunny. That's crazy, man, because me listening to this statement, mainstream and programming and alignment with these people for money. It's about money and viewership. You know, I want to play this clip of what he said about when JayZ called him, how he thought, how he felt, and you know what he had to say.
Does JayZ have to say, even though he knows you already know, when he calls you, does he have to say, needless to say, keep this between us for the time being?
No, for sure. he has to say it no matter what. I always, when I work with people that I know that they respect I said it no matter what, just in case you don't know. So yeah, it's part of the work.
When Usher got the call, he told the world that JayZ just said it simply, it's time. Do you remember sort of what JayZ said to you without betraying any trust when you got the call? Because it's such a special call to get.
It's crazy because I was in the middle of a workout. So I remember that after the call, I just did like 100 pull-ups. I was like, I didn't need more pre-workout shit or whatever.
Interesting. Let me continue to read the article. As right-wingers melt down over the choice, and many of Bad Bunny's fans rejoice, what is clear is that everyone has an opinion, and what is sure to be one of the most cultural significant performances in the history of the Super Bowl. I am reminded of something Bad Bunny declared during his Coachella set. I can't pronounce that, y'all. I'm sorry. I don't speak Puerto Rican. There has never been someone like me before. Maybe there has never been anyone like Bad Bunny before. But given the cultural breakthroughs he continues to make, there will certainly be more like him in the future. Interesting. What's your thoughts about Bad Bunny performing at the Super Bowl? I want to hear from y'all in the comment section. I will be down there ready to react, focused, and appreciative of y'all comments. Thank y'all for tuning in to my show. Peace, love, plenty, abundance. Make sure you go get you some money, and I'm gone. Chill.
The Trevor Jackson Podcast.